On Wednesday, 11th October 2017, Chrisland Schools Limited celebrated her 40th anniversary. The event, which was held at the Shell Hall, Musan Center, Nikon, Lagos, featured a public lecture with the topic, Education in the 20th Century and Now, the Future of the Nigerian Child. It also featured the launch of a book titled The Story Behind the Glory. Board of Directors, management, staff, students and pupils of Chrisland School, as well as their parents, filled the hall to its capacity, as all came to celebrate Chrisland Schools for her tremendous progress in the last 40 years. The event witnessed a gathering of high-profile personalities who came to celebrate with Chrisland Schools Limited. They include First Lady of Kogi State, Mrs. Amino Oyizabelo, Esquire, Mrs. Ajokegbilei, Head, Private Education and Special Programming, Ministry of Education, Lagos State, represented the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Dr. Mrs. Idiat Oluranti Adebule, Chief Ernest Sheneko, GCFR, and his wife, Margaret Sheneko. Dr. Fred Odutola represented General Yakubu Gowon. Dr. Mrs. Abiola Olorode represented her father, Sir Dr. Kessington Adebukola Adebutu, Professor Mrs. Modukbe Adelabu, Chief Olufalomo. Chief Lakon Smith represented the Alaki of Igbaland. Nigerian singer and songwriter Two-Face Idibia and his wife, Annie Idibia, were present as parents, among many others. Chrisland Schools Limited had a very humble beginning. It was established on the 3rd of October 1977 in the boys' quarters of the chairman and founder of Chrisland Schools, High Chief Dr. Mrs. W.A. Awoshika. High Chief Dr. Mrs. W.A. Awoshika, OON, was born on the 13th of February 1940 in Owo, Ondo State. As a young female, she was dedicated to the general advancement of humanity through quality education. This passion led to the creation of Chrisland Schools Limited, which has now grown into a conglomerate. Chrisland Schools was established for the purpose of providing quality all-round educational services to children from kindergarten to tertiary level. To further achieve that big dream, Chrisland Schools Limited established Chrisland University on the 4th of January 2016 in Abeokuta, Ogun State. Today, Chrisland Schools Limited has 12 schools spread across Lagos, Abuja, and Abeokuta, Ogun State. Students of Chrisland Schools performed a special ensemble conducted by one of the teachers of the school. The chairman of the day, Chief Ernest Sheneko, in his opening remarks, congratulated the founder of Chrisland Schools Limited, High Chief Dr. Mrs. W.A. Awoshika. He said the seed which she planted 40 years ago has grown into a big tree, well rooted to the ground. He urged students of Chrisland Schools to acquire as many skills as possible so as to enable them live good lives. Chief Ernest Sheneko also advised the federal government to create an enabling environment where businesses can thrive, as no meaningful development can take place in a chaotic society.
The seed you planted 40 years ago has become the great tree it is today, because this has resulted in Chrisland Schools spread not just to 11 locations in Lagos and Abuja, but now covering nursery, primary, secondary, and post-secondary education, including a world-class university. However, my own take on the future of the Nigerian child is to give you a possible scenario of the child's future for Nigeria. Education, as we know it today, will further evolve and probably include a larger volume of students opting to be taught online from their homes. There will be greater reliance on downloadable books and materials rather than physical books. With an increase in the country's population, there will be a rise in the number of educated middle class and an increase in the demand for locally produced goods. In addition, ladies and gentlemen, globalization will change our mindset of going to the office early in the morning and returning late in the evening, as work can be carried out at all times of the day and from different locations, including the home. In particular, it will also change the present trends of individuals maintaining one career path. In coping with this scenario of the future, ladies and gentlemen, we must henceforth make ourselves adaptable to acquiring as many skills as possible so that we are adaptable to other professions or roles with relative ease.
The founder, Chrisland Schools Limited, and founder and Chancellor Chrisland University, High Chief Dr. Mrs. W.A. Awoshika, in her welcome remark, expressed gratitude to all who came to celebrate the 40th anniversary of one of her major successes, the establishment of Chrisland School, a school established out of her strong and passionate love for impacting knowledge to the younger generation.
I feel completely overwhelmed, but grateful to God Almighty for this beautiful day. I am indeed grateful to all of you, dear friends, who have come to share this day with us, myself and my family. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. I remember those early years, and I feel proud and grateful to God for making Chrisland what it is today. I remember when I did my questionnaire at UNILAG during my postgraduate course. I went to the owner of Grace Children's School. At that time, she was at Ikorodu Road. So to all of you, school proprietors, school proprietors, distinguished educators, I will salute you and I thank you all for coming.
Next was the citation of the guest lecturer. The guest lecturer, Professor Wale Omole, who for 8 years was the Vice-Chancellor of the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Osun State, said the curricula of the 21st century need urgent reviewing, as what we have now is mere theory with little room for practicals. He said the curricula have also separated our children from the African culture. Professor Wale Omole stressed the need for a paradigm shift in the curricula, adding that it should inculcate value systems such as ethics, social skills, morality, motivation, conscience, and all other attributes a child needs for good and quality upbringing. Professor Wale Omole also said we must begin to inculcate reading culture in our children and stop overdependence on the internet. He, however, urged parents and teachers to learn from their past deficiencies and instill good emotional strength and uprightness in the lives of their wards.
It is most beneficial to teach the children in their indigenous languages, which elicits better understanding and deeper forms of communication. Some of these teachable values, I will list some of them, include mindfulness. Our children must learn about mindfulness. When we talk about teaching, say pedagogy, right? cradle. If you teach them in your language and whatever, they grow up with it. Ethics, conscience, social skills, empathy, willpower, discernment, morality, consciousness, awareness, motivation, character, two kinds of character, strength of character, and quality of character. Honesty, integrity, etc. The modules are available to teach them. The field that has attracted so much attention in the past decade is emotional intelligence. It is a field where all leaders and all parents must be players.
Students of Chrisland schools entertained the audience with a special drama performance which reenacted the birth and journey of the school. Next was the book review, which was excellently done by Professor Mrs. Mudukwe Adelabu as she analyzed each chapter of the book. The book, titled The Story Behind the Glory, was forwarded by Chief Ernest Sheneko and edited by Mr. Dari Babarisa.
The story behind the glory is the story of an icon, a formidable woman of substance, as we see in the course of the review itself. This book, you just need to take it. It's reader-friendly, right from the title page to the end. It is a rare privilege to have a book with foreword written by a former head of state, an industrialist, and a great entrepreneur. Dari Babarisa, the editor himself, is worth celebrating. Not because he was an alumnus of Obafemi Awolowo University, Great Ife, like myself, but he's undoubtedly one of our best journalists in Nigeria. The language of this book is simple, clear, and readable. Every chapter is focused, and it mainstreams into the next chapter. The story behind the glory reminds me of Moses of the Bible, who at the time during his 40 years journey to the promised land, asked God to show him his glory. And when God did, Moses never remained the same. It is the same with High Chief Mrs. Awoshika, who with the support of her husband was able to talk about God's glory today.
The official launch of the book was carried out by the chief launcher, Chief Sir Dr. Kessington Adebutu, who was represented by his daughter, Dr. Abiola Olorode, as she generously launched the book on behalf of her father.
On behalf of my father, you know, my father has a foundation, and the education sector is one of his pet sectors. On behalf of my father, Sir Dr. Kessington Adebutu, I present the Chrisland story, from the story behind the glory.
This led to other donations by corporate bodies like the United Bank for Africa UBA, Fidelity Bank, and Sterling Bank. Later on, parents and alumni members of Chrisland schools also donated handsomely. The First Lady of Kogi State, Mrs. Amina Oyiza Bello, in her remarks, congratulated staff and students of Chrisland schools. She also congratulated the pioneer and visionary of the school, High Chief Dr. Mrs. W. A. Awoshika, for nurturing students who have done excellently well in their chosen fields. She encouraged students of the school to take their studies seriously and continue to shine the bright light Chrisland schools is known for.
Over the years, Chrisland schools have nurtured, educated, and shaped the lives of its students in many positive ways. It graduates are acknowledged, celebrated, and are excelling in various sectors of the economy and also beyond the shores of Nigeria. I am proud of you, Ma. I'm indeed honored to be associated with you. High Chief Dr. Winifred Adefolahon Awoshikama. What we are celebrating today is a culmination of many years of your efforts to have an educated society. Your service to humanity has not gone unnoticed. I am proud of you, Ma. You are indeed a role model that we can all look up to. Congratulations, ma'am. I call on all schools across the country to admit children with disability and also provide facilities that will aid them in acquiring the best education here in Nigeria and indeed the whole of Africa. An inclusive society that will go a long way in making us realize our country's dream. Congratulations, Ma, for this great achievement, and I look forward to celebrating Chrisland's School's Golden Jubilee anniversary. Thank you very much, Ma.
The Managing Director, Chrisland Schools, Mrs. I.O. Adeyemi, in the vote of thanks, appreciated all for honoring the invitation to celebrate with Chrisland Schools at 40, adding that the school is committed to nurturing children in all ramifications of life. She also wished all journey mercies back to their respective destinations.
On behalf of Chrisland Schools, thank you for honoring our invitation. Thank you for celebrating our mother. Is this show worth celebrating? She's worth celebrating. Let's appreciate her again. She's done a lot for humanity, for education, and I know that the best is still coming. To all APEN members, I think they've gone, but I want to appreciate them all again. Thank you so much for the support.
From Beacon Communications, we congratulate Chrisland Schools Limited on her 40th anniversary.